When this space was finally ours, it was mind-blowing. When we bought the house in 2004, we already knew that we were going to need to renovate at some point.
The kitchen was really last done 6 decades ago. And when we moved in 20 years ago, and so there comes a time when you see the kitchen ceiling coming down, when you see the walls deteriorating, when the 60-year-old infrastructure begins to crumble. And then that's not just a smoke signal, that's a fire.
When Risa started trying to get us to think beyond that, that was a whole education process in and of itself. It's so hard to narrow it down because, working with Risa, she came up with so many great ideas.
All construction can be a little crazy, but what's really helpful on the spectrum of understand everything to absolute chaos is having sort of guideposts on where it's going, how it's going to go. And that, I think, is particularly important for anybody walking through a big construction project. And that, to me, is how I think Risa and crew helped us birth this new project in the house.
It's a no-brainer. We found an article in the Boston Globe where they featured a number of different homes that had been renovated, and Honeycomb was featured, and I immediately turned to Yuhan and said, we need to call them.
Great design is hard to find, and when you do find it, and we saw it in some of the ideas and pictures and posts of a Honeycomb, and then meeting Risa and the team, there's a different level of understanding of how to design space. And that to me and to Katie in particular, was really important.
Once you're actually allowed to use that space all the time, you're like, oh my God, I get to live here? I get to have the sink? We have teenagers. They could not wait to show their friends, come in and see our renovation and look at this fridge and look what the sink does and look at the wallpaper. They just loved it when their friends were like,